Hi everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph, and today, well, just look, checking out my big larch again. Now, today, this thing is still in its recovery stage. Well, more or less. Obviously, if you remember, I bought it. It was, I'd say like 60-70% of it had already died off, and I had to go in and clear it out and take a lot of it off, and then I repotted it, well, let it recover, I repotted it, and now it's a case of trimming back because we've got some growth on it, but I've still got some pulling in a little bit to do and removing some of the new growth that has obviously gone in the wrong direction. So today, what I'm going to try and do is, where possible, is correct some more growth. For instance, this branch here, I think I've got a bit growing in the wrong, this direction and this direction. So I think I'm going to make a decision on either keeping one of these sections and removing the other section, and then going and clearing up the big mess that is here. And then I've got stuff growing obviously up, and then obviously from the other bits of growth I've just got what can be described as spider legs that's all growing in mismatched directions. I don't know what this is, but so I'm gonna just go over, have a look at the tree, see what we can do with it. As I say, we're still trying to get that nice tight growth, but we're also still trying to encourage backbud if we can, because obviously it is still hardwood. So I think there's only going to be so much we can do with this tree, at least this year. Again, it's going to be a long process, but it's still, as you can see, it is coming along quite nicely. The basic structure's there, we wired it into place, it's now all in the right places. The top part of the tree itself looks really good, it's now trying to get it in a little bit tighter, trying to encourage some back growth, because we've got bits here where we've got no growth at all. Maybe we'll do a little bit of wiring today as well. So let's get in close and we'll have a quick wander around the tree. Right, so let's give you an idea of what I am planning on doing. So basic things like this is obviously going to come off. It's going up and it's growing in the wrong direction. So basic structure, and again here, and then we've got crossing branches. So that's just the basic prune that we do in every tree that we've got going on. But we've got this section here, so as you can see, we've got the main branch that goes along, it then splits off here and here like that. So let's get you a down view, and then as you can see, it goes just across this way here, and then it then comes across that way and there. But if I turn you on this direction here and on this angle, you can see how it palms off or spreads off over here again. But I'm thinking I've got a nice little branch that comes off here, minus that bit, and then it comes off here, but I could utilize this. Let me turn you again. So we've got it come off straight. If I cut this branch off, I could utilize this as the continuing leader and then neaten it up, and then I've got that as a branch for the left. I could utilize this one here as the right branch, and then this will be the center branch. So let me change that angle as well. So we'd go left, right, center, remove, because this is just too much going on. And if I come from the front of the tree, which would be there, we just move it over, as you can see, it's just a little bit too much going on. So I think removing that, and then obviously remove that little section, we've got the growth growing up to the left, remove this little section just here, and then you can see we're neaten that up. It looks a hell of a lot better. And then we can try and pull it in a little bit, maybe cut it off here somewhere, just bring it back a little bit, and then start developing a little bit more, bring everything in that little bit more tight. And then the same over here. You can see what I mean in terms of trying to develop some backbudding. I've got nothing down here. Now it is hardwood, so that's going to be pretty difficult. All my growth, oh, come on, focus, there you go, all my growth is just up here. I need to continually try and force growth down here. So as this grows down, I'm going to keep cutting it back. Hopefully I will develop, but I'm not 100% sure. If anything, we're going to get any more growth on hardwood on a larch. Need to continue doing my research. It does say that it doesn't grow on any hardwood, but I'm not sure if that refers to hardwood in terms of this sort of hardwood or this sort of hardwood here. I'm still quite new to larches, so if you've got any advice, please do give it to me. I am all ears. Next thing we need to do is this section here as well. As you can see, when I said spidery leggy, it's just all messed up. I also like to rearrange this sort of section here as well. So again, this is the sort of thing I like to pull in. I like to back bud in if we can, but this section here, I've got a branch in this section here, I think it's got to go. Also, this part is nice. We might just need to wire it out this way. Come on, focus. This way a little bit more because it's sprung back. So it's got to go that way. And then I think removing this branch here and possibly just keeping that one, as that'll come across there. It might need to go, but this one on the inside definitely got to go. So a little tidy up, a bit of wire, and then we'll continue looking through the tree, just doing a little step back, hoping it'll force some back budding, but just neating up. And then if I go into the top of the tree itself is looking really nice. Everything's quite well organized, although I've just got some more interfering, so I've just got to go through that, check that out. As I say, the top looks really nice, if I even get to the point where the bottom isn't doing so good, but it's getting there. I've always come up with the idea as, again, I could air layer the top of the tree if I wanted to, and that would be a really solid tree in itself. Just there, look at that. Well, that is a last resort. I don't really want to do that because the tree itself looks pretty cool. So that's my idea for today. Just go around and even everything up. So again, we've got this really long growth. I need to get some buds in here, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But leave me some advice. Can I back bud on this hardwood here? Is it possible, or am I flogging a dead horse? If I am, I'll just try and keep it out here and go from there. But yeah, much advice, deeply appreciated. Okay, as I stated before, we're going to come in, I'm going to lose this section here, and I'm also going to lose the bottom section of this branch just there, and I'm going to neaten that up. And I've got a board that goes that way, just here. We're going to continue with the directional pruning on every cut we make. So there we go. This branch here, this is the one we are going to lose, which is this one here, this big branch. So I'm just going to come in, I'll make a nice neat cut just there. So as you can see, pretty reasonable sized branch that we've just taken off. Now, because I've just taken that off, this does look quite long, but before I go ahead and touch that, I'm just going to come in and neaten everything else around it. So long section here. Let's bring everything in. Take that one out. Just gonna come in here. Right, there and there, and then I've got one just underneath we need to take out as well. Right, so this section is very long, so let's come in and take it out. Make a nice easy cut here, and there, and there. Right, so we've got this end section nicely neatened, and we're gonna go in and cut that one out. Bud here, let's cut back to it, it's too long. For now we'll do that. It's still a bit long for me. We've got them other buds In fact, I'll come in, I'm going to come in and cut that, change its direction. If anything, I could utilize this bud later on. We could change the direction, bring this as the new leader and remove that one back completely as well. But it's still within our, yeah, within our scale. Again, as I'm saying, it's still a bit long, it's still a bit too far out here this way. If anything, I could bring it back further, but I've got no more buds here. The next section is here, so we want something that grows and develops this way. If I've got something else that comes out from this one, I could come back and bring it to here, I think, later on. For now, that will do me. This one out here, let's just see if I can swing it around for you. Got this section that grows in the wrong direction, and there. Take that out in the corner. Let's bring that in to there. I'm pretty sure that's dead. Bring that back. That's going the wrong direction. In fact, I'm going to cut that out completely, and I'm going to use that. This next one over here, that one grows up and over. Take that out, utilize that one. Don't want it growing too far up. Cut back, cut back, cut back. Now this is an interesting situation. If you have a look at this, this is my main branch here that comes along, all the way out of here. If I move this, if I move this one out the way, you'll notice I've got nothing on this left side here at all, and it all comes, well, I've only got one branch here to the right and here, but this branch here that I've just got hold of, it does exactly the same. So if I move out of the way, I've got nothing. Well, I've got only what this branch here comes off on the right, this branch here that comes off on the right, and I've got this one here on the left that's dead. I've got nothing on it, and I've got nothing that grows on the left side here. Just further back, I've got this one branch here that grows, and I've got left, right branches. Now, I can make a decision here. Do I, A, persist with this branch here, hope something back buds, and again, the same with this side. I'm going to leave it and persist and try and get something that back buds. Or do I, B, remove it and allow this one to flourish, grow it out, move it over, and then have a nice branch that will replace this, fill up this area, and you know, it's already growing left and right branches, you know, fill in this whole area and do that. So I'll set the tree back a little bit for the future of the tree. So the answer is yes, I'm going to do that, but right now, because it's still in the second year of recovery, I'm not going to do it this year, I'm going to do it next year. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take that one off there because it is dead, and I'm just going to try and clean this section up a little bit by taking the unwanted branches out of it. I've got dead section here as well at the end, and here. I'm going to take these ones out. Bring that back, and I'm going to bring that back and remove that one, and I'm going to try and bring that one back and hope to encourage that one to grow that way. Now, you're probably thinking, you're just wasting energy by growing this branch out. Maybe so, but also no. So what I'm trying to do is I'm leaving this one on to encourage the tree to get healthy. So if you remember, this tree was really sick 18 months ago, and I'm still in the process of trying to gain vigor into it. So if I remove this, it's one more cut, one more big cut that the tree is gonna sorry, that the tree is gonna have to seal the wound, and I don't really want to do that. Little cuts, not too bothered about, but a big cut like sealing a wound, I'm not going to go ahead and do that yet, not until next year. So for me, I will allow this one to thicken up. Just going to cut this one back here, but I'll allow this one to grow out and thicken up, And then as it starts doing that, I will manipulate it into position, getting it ready to remove this branch. Then next year I'll go ahead and cut this branch, bring it in, move it into position and fill it in. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'll just get that one out of the way. I'll cut this one back to that bud to help this one position into the correct place, and I'll take that out the bend because we don't want it in there, and this can obviously be moved around the position as well later on in its life. In terms of this branch here, let me just move the camera back a little bit so you can see. This one comes out very long, and I've got, if I cut that, I've got another branch here that comes out I can utilize as the first branch, and then I'm going to cut there, cut there for now, and then I'll do the same, cut, and make that arrowhead, and after that I can continue to make decisions on it. And this one obviously grows in the wrong direction, but then I've got the next branch just here that grows in a direction that I do like. So I'll take the thick one out, and I'll also take the top section out, and I'll try and clean the old cut wound. So actually it's still a little bit too long, so I'm just going to come in and just remove it all completely. Allow that just there. So that'll do for nothing. We might get some more back bud in hopefully, but you never know. Again, it's the whole old wood situation. I don't know what's going to happen. On this right side, I've trimmed right back to a couple of buds. Now, as you can see, it's not very long, and I've repositioned and cut off some dead branches. So, dead branch, repositioned this little one. As you remember, it came out and it went this way. So, bit of wire, repositioned it. So now, as it grows in, I can fill in this gap, this awful gap that had nothing here, except a dead branch that I've just removed, and I've cut the end of this one that was going the wrong way. Took everything right back, removed that branch there as well, so it does look a little sparse again, but again, for the betterment of the tree, I need back buds. Keep saying this, I need back buds, but not a lot I can do about it until I get them. So I've just got the points at the end. This left side actually it looks way better now, so I've trimmed it right back again. Noticed I've still got, pretty sure these are dead, but taking a chance on them, see if there's anything live. The ends are probably dead, but I don't know, we'll see. This section, right, so put a bit of wire in it to move what we can, and then I've got the end bits that are going to sprout out. I've got this branch up here that I can cut back to a bud here, and then that is going to flourish into this section, filling this gap. Now I've moved this and I've bent it down lower, so you now see it comes down a bit to fill in this gap for the time being, but we've wired this branch here as well, which was slightly over positioned, and I said it was going to move over into this section here. Second thoughts, I'm going to wire it. I've wired it a little bit more to the left, so now because of the way it looks and the way I've wired it out, way I've cut it in, as you can see, my initial thought was to move it over this way. Not going to do that. I'm going to continue to bend it, moving it over this section. So as that grows in, I'm going to position it over here, hence why I've bent this down, and it's going to fill in this gap as well. So that's going to grow, fill in here, and that's going to come in and fill this section here. I'm going to remove that branch eventually because I don't think it's going to backbud at all, but if it does, happy days, that can still come over and fill this gap. If not, it's going to move and fill that one in the next year to 18 months, possibly 2 years. It's still malleable because it's a larch, so happy days. But there you can see what I'm working with. If I put my hand, let me see, put my hand there, you can see either way I can move it that way, or I can move it into this position here. It's great, and it's going to fill there. This branch, I've got the tips nice there, and then I've got the tips here, and I've got that one that grows here. I think that's dead. So I've got that section there filled out, and as I say, if that comes in, fills this section out, you won't be able to see, there's nothing here, trick of the tree, and then yeah, I've got the whole pad there. And then this branch that I said I was going to move that way, or possibly removed, I've cut right back to here, put a wee bit of wire on it, and I've manipulated it into this section here. So, and the way I've cut it, as you can see, I can put it, so I've cut it and I've left everything on it. If I change the angle, you can see, so when I rewire it now, I can bend it from that degree to that degree. So I'll go 45 degrees and it should position nicely, and then we can move it over again slightly this way when this one moves over here. Happy days. So, future plans. This part, just reduce that size there, reduce that one there, and that one as well. I've got one board here, which is alive. I've got nothing on this section here, but I've also got all this section here. So again, as that grows in, I can wire it and just position it around this section here. So that pad will be nice. I won't have to do anything. Should be able to get away with that nice and neat, because obviously this tree is pretty sizable. So this whole section I'm really quite happy with. Not too much of an issue. And then if you go right far back as well, I've got this one as well, which I can pruning. That's not a word, it's just a sound. I can produce and wire it into position over here as that one develops this way. So yeah, this whole section now at the back, well, it's not the back, that is the left side. If you look at it, that whole left side pad, future proofed, is done. The right side as well is a lot better, as I say, so that's wired. It's going to go into that section, and then all these tips are done. Excuse me. I've managed to pull it back as far as I can, and as you can see, it is a hell of a lot shorter. If I just pull out a little sec, it's a hell of a lot shorter than it was originally. It was way out here, so in contrast to where it is now. So if you look, it goes like this. It's still a little bit shorter than that one because I've managed to cut it back. So I'm happy with that. And if I spin the tree a little bit more, I've got the back side here. This is more of an issue. So I managed to cut this section. This is probably the better bit. I've got more live section here, and then just on this bit as well. Okay, so you can see that. And then just on the tip here, I've got a live bit. I've got nothing down this section or on this section either, but on the left side here, I've got plenty of growth, and I've just wired this section and got that into position as well. As you can see, this is the one I need back budding right there. Alas. And then just further down here, I've got this branch as well, which I can, if I want to, can bring it this way, bringing it in, and then obviously I've got a nice pad there. So yeah, so pad wise, not too bothered about. It's coming along, but I've got a big gap here, so I need to fill that somehow. Hopefully we can fill it in, maybe close the gap with some wire. We'll see how the summer goes. Hopefully with a bit of sun, bit of fertilizer, maybe some back budding. Now I just need to do a bit of work on the top here. As I say, this whole top growth, really pleased with how this has come along. As I say, larches are very top heavy in growth and the apex dominant, so the way this is all grown, I've done, well, I won't say I've done, but okay, I've done quite a bit of work to get it the way it is. I've done a few cuts and I've helped it along, and the tree's really taken to what I've done, and it's grown really well. I just wish I had more of what has happened up here down here, but I can't have everything, I suppose. And as I say, if I don't get the reaction I want on the lower sections, I am just going to go ahead and air layer this tree and have a really fantastic tree from the top section, and then just do something with that. Yeah, but I don't really want to do that because it's a really old tree, but if needs must, I will seek advice, because I've got Andy on hand from Tree in a Pot. I can get in touch with him and just see what I can do with basically a old stick in a pot, and I might be able to, like, I don't know, have that. And then if one of these sections, as I say, the pad, which has got the best, one of the bed, if one of the pads works as it comes, as I say it does, what I might do is I might just have a stick, and then do basically as if it's been hit by lightning, and then peel all the bark away, and then just have a big pad that comes out, and just have something like that, and then try and reduce the padding and have it as like a cascade or a windswept sort of thing, and see how that goes, and then have a really nice tree in a pot from there, like that. We'll see. So I need to get working on this section now, so we're going to do some snips. Let's get into it. So for me, this one's just about trimming the unwanted branches, reducing them back, and making sure that any buds that are in their own places as well are just dealt with, just trimmed back. Nice and easy job, nothing too strenuous here. So as you can see, I'm just going round, trimming back everything to a nice point. So I need to just make sure that I can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see me in camera, because I can't see myself on this camera I'm using, but it's starting to go a bit cold now, so I've got my hood up, keep my head warm. This might be a little bit boring now for you, but it's just a basic maintenance cut now, nice and easy. So anything growing inside the tree we're getting rid of, anything that's too close to an armpit of a branch, and anything that's in the interior of a bud, and interior wise, where the bud should not be as well, we're just gonna go in and remove that as well. So I don't want the buds right in there, because they will develop a branch. That's obviously where the branches come from, a bud, and if they start swelling, they will start causing inverse taper. So just taking those out. Quick have a look. So nice little trim, everything's pulled back to a few boards. I've removed again a few branches that were in the wrong direction, and everything, like I had an additional branch just coming across here. It was just too many branches. So again, everything's neat, tidy, looks fresh, ready for growing season now. So everything is better. Again, it's a little bit bare, but it's more or less a lot tighter. So we've gone ahead and we've removed probably about that much in length on this side. Not really too much I could do about this side in length, and again I've just tiny little bit nibbles on the back side, but the tree again is looking a little bit more tight, especially on that right side, but it's better. You can see it's coming along. In the last 18 months, 2 years I've had it, especially that top section. If we just go through, you can see it's looking a bit more twiggy. So again, it's coming along. Recap, a bit of wire, a bit of trimming, losing about 3 more dead bits. As you can see, we took quite a bit off. It's pretty much everywhere, so you know, bits like that. Some other bits, and we've got plenty more over there taken off. Okay, now as long as the tree reacts well to everything I've just done, I should have a really decent growing season this year. So this will be the second year in this pot, and the second year that I've allowed it to hopefully recover properly since getting it. So in the first year I let it do, well, the first year I got it, I allowed it to recover, and I got rid of all the nasty dead bits off it, and well, let it do its thing in its original pot. The second year I had it, well, it wasn't a full second year, but the first, basically the first spring I had it in my collection, I did a full repot, root work, what is wrong with me? Root work, so it's in this pot now. It must be doing well in that pot, because obviously I've got a hell of a lot of roots, a hell of a lot of weeds as well. I've been pulling all them up, and this year, the first proper growing season I've had it, it did really well, put on lots of growth. But obviously it's about getting some back buds, and it's about allowing it to do its thing, hopefully getting them lower sections closer in. But I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to do it. I'm still hoping and praying we can get it there. But the top, as I say, the top did really well this year. We got lots of tight knitted growth, and as I say, I keep saying it, I don't want to do it, but if needs come to it, I'm getting rid of that top and having its own little tree, because the top's fantastic. It's really, really good. It's just that lower section that I'm struggling with. More and more research, more and more playing with larches, and the more experience I get, the better I'm going to be able to do with this tree. But again, working on it this year, doing that little bit there, it's getting better and better every time I work on it. As soon as that growing season comes in, as soon as I will know whether or not I'm going to succeed in doing this sort of stuff. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get better and better with this tree, and fingers crossed it succeeds and I can have a nice 60-year-old larch tree, because obviously when I got it, it was in a pretty poor shape. But it is what it is. I've got the tree and it's living, and it's, you know, I like it. So pull that in, bit of a trim, got a few buds left. I'm going to put it back in the polytunnel. I'm going to leave it in there now, and obviously spring will come early, because obviously that polytunnel will get warmer quicker than being outside. So then buds will sprout earlier, maybe a couple of weeks earlier. Spring usually comes at the end of March, mid-March. So hopefully, if all being well, start of March, I should get buds on this bad boy. So I'll give you an update as soon as we get some buds on it. Popping, that is, not just buds, buds pop. But if you like this one and you want to see it continue to develop, and I don't kill it, fingers crossed, please do stick around, follow the channel, and yeah, like, subscribe. Use them hype points to push the channel out there. Let's get some more subscribers. Let's grow this channel together as a community. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. That's me over and out. Bye everyone. Get out there and play with your bonsais.